Yeah. What's up, nerds? Sp4zie coming right at you. Listen, about a year ago, in August 2018, I was lying in this very bed trying to fall asleep. Are you there? Something very strange happened. I was lying right here and my pulse sort of started to raise. Actually, adjust you a little bit like this. So my heart was beating faster and faster and I was kind of like a little bit just curious at first. I'm like, what's going on here? And it didn't stop. It beat faster and faster and faster and harder and harder. It felt like I could like see the heart pounding through my chest. And then all of a sudden, my vision started getting all messed up, man. Like there was black spots in my vision, like I couldn't see properly. And that's when I started getting really scared. That's my feet back there. Look at that. La 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 la. I'm almost 30. I had no idea what was happening. I started going up. I started walking around aimlessly in the apartment, being so scared at this point. What was going on in my body? What was happening? And I came up with two theories in this stress state. One, I'm having a heart attack and I'm about to die. Or two, I'm losing my mind and I'm going insane. Or, I guess three, it could be both. Now, it was getting worse and worse. I had no idea where to go and I was just walking like a caged animal just back and forth in my apartment. I eventually ended up lying on the floor in the living room, just lying there. Like this. Can you picture it? It was right here like this. And at that point, I was 100% certain I was gonna die. I was dying. I have never been more scared in my life, I think. And that also was the start of probably the worst couple of months in my life. Oh yeah, baby. We're going there today. We're going there. You thought you were tuning in for the old giggles, the old lulz? Hell no, baby. While I was lying there on my living room floor, I wasn't aware that I was having my first panic attack. I was certain I was gonna die. I was also really scared of like losing my mind and doing something terrible. Like I remember looking over at the balcony and like, I don't know if I'm unwillingly gonna go there and hurl myself over the edge. That's how bad it was. Panic attacks are really common. A lot of people experience them, but only a few develop panic attack syndrome or panic syndrome. And I did, Gandalf. I did. So, before I tell you about the worst time of my life, I want to tell you what a panic attack is. A panic attack is basically your body's fight or flight system going off. Your body is preparing you for a real danger by pumping you with adrenaline, you know, getting your pulse going, your muscles are tightening, you're getting ready to fight, basically. And it's a good thing that we have this. For instance, let's say you're about to get hit by a car. It's good that you react fast so you don't get hit by a car. Now, the problem arises when this system is triggered when there's no real danger. For instance, when you're going to bed. Now, what panic syndrome is, well, for me it was that I got so traumatized by the experience that I sort of started developing a fear for bodily functions and changes. I was constantly, without really being aware of it, looking inwards, if you will, and feeling my body. Is anything changing? And constantly on the lookout for anything out of the ordinary. For instance, I could wake up one morning and I could feel like my throat is a little dry. Nothing weird about that. Why would that be weird? But I would feel that and I would go, oh wait, is this bad? And then because of my fear, my pulse would go up, and then I would look at that and go like, oh wait, is something really bad? And then after just 5 minutes, I'd have another panic attack right there because of my throat being, you see the spiral and it just keeps going. So after my first panic attack, every time I went to bed, it was this constant war of me trying to fall asleep and my body telling me that you're about to die. It was brutal, man. I had panic attacks every other night, got like 3 hours of sleep at most, and it was not good sleep. It was really bad. And so what I did was I told everyone around me that I was going through this, and I have some friends that are doctors, and people started to kind of push me in the direction that you might be having panic attacks, and I read a little bit about it, seemed to make sense. And that's what's so strange about this. Like after I got the knowledge that okay, I'm having anxiety and panic attacks, that's what I've got, I just couldn't help myself. I knew there was no danger around me, but my mind was acting without my consent. I got scared from something arbitrary happening, and that was it, a panic attack. I remember this one time when I was at the gym, and I can't remember what it was. It was probably like a muscle being a little more painful than usual or something like that. And I immediately started spiraling, thinking something was wrong. Pulse, adrenaline, vision being blurry, numbing fingers, the whole shebang. But I was so sick of it at that point, and I knew that there was nothing wrong or nothing dangerous. So I was telling myself, no, I'm gonna do my exercises, and that's it. Meanwhile, my body is telling me physically, you are about to die, GTFO. So I must have looked like this crazy person. I was like doing myself like, I'm about to die, but I'm not. And I actually went through my whole set of exercises whilst going through this panic state. And I remember exiting the gym and I was like, well, now my plan was to go and empty my post box. And the post office is like, it's 500 meters tops. It's like 5-minute walk at most. So I was walking down the street and it's so funny, but it's also like, it's really terrifying. I want to stress that. So I'm walking, right? And I can see the post office. I'm right there. The door is like half a meter away from me. I'm about to grab it. And that's when my body wins. I froze for 2 seconds. And then I turned around and ran all the way home, right? I ran all the way home, closed the door, and fucking like... It's fucking insane. But see, people use the expression, oh, I felt like I was gonna die a lot, arbitrary, right? But let me tell you, the actual physical feeling of I am about to die, it is the most scary shit you can go through. Yeah, I couldn't help myself. I was almost there, but for some reason, my body convinced me that the right thing to do right now is to turn around, run home, and lay down on the floor. So it was very clear to me that I needed help to get through this, and so I did a little bit of research and I ended up signing up for a internet therapy thing. Basically what you do is you first go to a couple of meetings with therapists and they conclude that yes, you have panic syndrome, you need help, and then you do like a 12-week course where you read stuff online, you do exercises whilst also being in email contact with a real therapist. And now, almost a year later, I am much better. I wouldn't say that I'm 100% cured. I can still like be at a bar, hanging out with a friend, everything's fine, and then all of a sudden my body comes at me like, hey man, it's me, your body. Not right now, man. I'm just having a drink with my friend. Listen, man, I think you might be about to die again. Just throwing it out there. Do you feel that thing in your finger? There's a little tingling there? Yep. That could be death approaching. But now when that happens, I have the tools to not make it spiral into a full-blown panic attack. It still sucks when it happens. I can still be in a state of anxiety for about 20 minutes, but then it's okay again. And I think if I keep on progressing this way, then who knows, in a year I might not even have that. And that would be goals. Hey man, it's me, your body. Are you sure you want to get rid of that though? I'm pretty accurate. Shut up! So I've been talking a lot about this on my live stream. A lot of you guys already know that I've been going through this, but I haven't made a video about it. And I guess I just wanted to do that to let you know that that has happened. And it feels like now more than ever, mental health is like a hot topic. Everyone is feeling sick, left, right, and center. Some people are blaming social media for this. I like to take this point of view, if you will. Because when I got my thing, I couldn't really pinpoint it. I might have been going through a lot of stress. I might have, it runs in my family a little bit, but I couldn't really pinpoint the reason. Funny, with a lot of these things, you don't really have to pinpoint the reason. You just have to deal with it sometimes. But I like to put it this way. We are ape-like mammals who developed to live in like small communities of maybe 20 or so individuals, hunting, having sex, and sleeping. That's kind of what we evolved into being. And that's it. Nothing in our brains has changed. However, our society and way of life has altered drastically. I mean, now we live in cities. There are millions of us at the same place. We have the internet. We have all these things. And I'm just like, humans are very adaptable, and that's a good thing. But quite frankly, it's not that strange that we're freaking out. I mean, it's freaking mental, the world we live in, compared to what we supposed to live in, I guess. It's a freaking miracle that not everyone is going around panicking at all times. And that being said, I think here is where I want to end today's vlog. If you are struggling with anything, be it anxiety, panic attacks, depression, anything of any grade, you might not be as far gone as I was, but if you're feeling any of this, I want you to do two things, okay? Number one, talk to your friends and family about this. I think a lot of people are carrying these things alone because they feel so personal. I remember how it was for me. When I was in my worst state, I remember feeling that there's absolutely no way anybody will understand what I'm going through because it's so extreme and it's happening in my head, or is it? I don't freaking know. But by talking to people, you are able to distance yourself from what's happening and look at it and analyze it a little bit rather than just experiencing it. And if you're afraid or self-conscious that people will feel like, oh, you're weird or you're just insane, okay, maybe you are a little scared of judgment. Think of it this way. What would you do if one of your friends came to you with your problems, talking about them like they were his or hers? Would you really judge them, or would you try to help them? And number two, okay, seek professional help. Again, it can often feel like your experiences are so personal and so extreme and so abstract in a way, even though they're real, that you might have doubts that anything can be done about it. But see, the good thing about the fact that there's a lot of people having issues with mental health is that there is a lot of science and research that has gone into this. There are so many successfully developed techniques to help people out in these situations. They are well tested and they work. Okay? I also think a lot of people who might not be as far
far gone as I was feel like they can sort of manage it. I think that's very common. Like, you know, they'll feel like, oh, I'm a little bit depressed sometimes. I have a hard time getting out of bed every other week or so, but it's fine. I get through it and then I'm fine for a week. So it's fine. And to those of you who feel that way, I would like to challenge you with this. I think we should all really look at mental health the same way we look at physical health. And having that mentality towards your mental health, it's kind of like you're out running, right? And you fall and you break your leg. Now, instead of screaming for a doctor and getting rushed to the hospital, you look at it and you go, it's fine. It hurts a bit, but I mean, as long as I don't walk anymore, I can drag myself across the floor, it'll be fine. Okay, maybe that's a little extreme, but you get my point. Don't be okay with whatever state you're in just because you're still functioning normally, because another important point is that things can sort of get worse, and it's easier to deal with things before they do. So please consider that. And what I would have said to myself when I was in my worst state about a year ago is that there is every reason to be hopeful. And that's a hard thing to do when you're in a dark pit of depression or something like that. But seek help. You will get better. And life, it can be freaking brutal, man. Just being alive as a human can be a living hell. It really can. But just with a little bit of work and a little bit of help, it can become the best thing there ever is to be. Alive, that is. Okay? At least it did for me. And I'm hoping that it will be for you as well. Actually, I'm not hoping. I know it will. You just have to do something about it. And I think I'm going to end there. We're going to ignore question of the day today because I want to stay on topic. But do click here to subscribe and click here to watch the previous vlog if you want to do that. I'll see you guys next time and I love you a lot. Okay? It's been Sp4zie and I'm out. Do it!